Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mehak. I hope you guys are all fine, and like always, I also hope that you guys are reading. Would you believe, and especially for those people who've been following me for a while and have been seeing my reviews, would you believe if I tell you that I'm going to be reviewing a science book? Probably not, but it's the fact. I am reviewing the first science book on my channel. I think I surprised my own self by picking this book up. So I came across this book, someone recommended, and I read the reviews on Amazon, and this looked like an interesting read that I would want to at least try having a read at. And but it took me a while to finish it because it was a science book. It was very thick and interesting in parts. But yeah, let's talk about the book in the question. It's called The Selfish Gene. It's by Richard Dawkins. Now, it's a very famous book. I think it was first written in 1976, if I'm not wrong. Probably some of you already know about this book. People who are science enthusiasts, people who love to read about evolution, this is the book for you. I have my notes ready for today's review, obviously, because it's the science book, not easy like one of our fiction books. But I think I'm really happy that I finished this book up. I wouldn't say that I read every single line, every single para. There were some chapters that I just breezed through, but I think overall I'm just glad that I did not give it up midway. So let's talk about what this book is essentially. So this book would, for people who are interested, would change the way you understand evolution. So in this, basically the author has introduced the idea of a gene, selfish gene, where he says that evolution does not happen at the organism or the species or the individual level. It happens at the species level. So our genes are really selfish. It's in their nature to survive. So they will survive and pass on, even if it does not benefit the organism. If it works for them, then they will survive and pass on from one organism to another. This is what I would say the basic premises of the book. But of course, the author has established this through various key concepts in the books, which were complex for me. I mean, this book, unlike other science books that I've seen, was not technical in the sense it wasn't filled with technical jargons. It wasn't too complex. The good thing about this book was there were a lot of examples. So a few chapters and examples and concepts became interesting because of the examples the author has shared. So first I would discuss about what these concepts are and hence the notes, because science book and I do not want to rely on my brains. So the first concept that was very interesting in this book, that I came across was altruism and evolution, which basically says that sometimes a seemingly selfless behavior can evolve if it helps individuals who share the same genes. So here is an example of ants. Ants, as we all know, are known for their teamwork, but worker ants never reproduce. What they do is they help the queen to survive and secure her and help her to reproduce. Now, this seems selfless, but it benefits the genes of the queen ant because it's helping her to reproduce, and the queen is closely related to them. So by helping her, they ensure the survival of their shared genetic material, and hence the genes of the worker ants passes on from one species to another, from one life to another. The second concept is about survival strategies, where the author has spoken about different behaviors compete and eventually balance out in nature. So take the example, in animals about the sneaky male production. So he says that in some animal species, large dominant males get most of the mates. However, we have some weaker males who, kind of sneak around and take their chance to reproduce with the female when the dominant male is not around, or sometimes pretend to be female and, distract the male. In this case, what happens is that, like pretending to be females or waiting for the dominant males to be distracted to reproduce. This keeps different strategies alive in the gene pool. So we have the dominant and the weak, but both of them are needed for the species to survive. So they kind of balance out each other, and this helps in the genes to pass on from one generation to another. The next and the last one is about the memes. He's talking about the idea of memes, which are like cultural genes, ideas that spread and evolve in human society. So, like our internet trends, like viral videos, catchphrases, or dance challenges, which spread very quickly. Similarly, we have the genes. So as long as people keep sharing them, these genes will keep surviving when they keep getting passed on. So these were some of the easier concepts, I would say, that, I got a hang of. But I think if you are someone who is really enthusiastic about science, about evolution, to understand how the genes work, play, I think you should definitely pick this book up and give it a try. But if you're someone like me who finds science book really difficult, I would say that just go and read about it online. The concept is very interesting. You would be surprised, how our genes survive from one generation to another, how they, in spite of skipping through some of the generations, how they tend to, sometimes we say that, oh, you have certain qualities or genes of your great grandfather. So how does that happen? So I think some of these things are very interestingly discussed in this book. So that's a very short review on this book. As you can see, that not something that I deep dived in, because honestly, like I said, science has never been my genre for some reason. But if some of you have read it, please let me know in the comments. How did you find this book, and the interesting concepts that you came across? But for now, this was all on this book. I'm going to see you guys next week with another title. Hopefully something that's our alley, our genre, something that we are comfortable with. But yeah, see you and keep reading, everyone.